in this breakdown, I'll explain why Nocturne Mid is a strong pick, give you some tricks and tips that you can look to use, and look at some of his strengths and weaknesses along with how I build Nocturne so you can build him the same way as well. So let's start off with why does Nocturne mid lane even work? The first thing is that he has very strong wave clear, largely thanks to his Q, the Duskbringer, combined with his passive. It does a lot of area of effect damage, it gives you bonus AD, and overall it's great for killing those pesky minions. On top of that, he has a huge amount of kill threat thanks to his ultimate, right? Now, not only does it have a huge amount of burst damage, but when you combine it with the bonus AD that you get from your Q and all the extra stuff that he has in his kit, oh, it's scary, and you'll get to see a look at that a little bit later on. When you combine these two things together, you end up with an impactful roaming champion that can affect all the other lanes around the map. He has a long range thanks to the ult, and he gets that extra bit of mobility on his Q. So, a lot of reasons as to why this can work. Now that you know that, let's look at some of the tips and tricks you need to be aware of about the mid lane Nocturne champion. First off, when you're looking to trade with your opposition, utilize your passive. You get more healing for every single target that you hit. So if you're standing in the middle of minions and you're trying to fight someone, you can get so much more healing back when you're going for those early trades. On top of that, his ultimate can ignore crowd control. Here's a great example from Yasuo's Q, where you can just ignore that CC because you're unstoppable, meaning you can make a lot of cool outplays and get into the thick of fights. On top of that, make sure that you're always standing on your Q when you go for fights. It gives you a lot of bonus AD. It's where a lot of your early damage comes from, so you're definitely going to want to stand on top of that. Moving into some fun facts, did you know that Nocturne passively gets attack speed on his W? Unlike Olaf, who when he ults loses the passive bonus stats he gets, Nocturne gets to keep it. So spam that W as often as you like. On top of that, his fear is a thread, which means that it will stay on even if Vladimir pulls, Elise repels, or if champions even use Zhonya's, which means they will still be CC'd once they come out of it. Very useful tip to know. On top of that, the final fun fact is that AP on-hit Nocturne is possible. But that guide is available for another day. So now you've seen now you've seen some tips and tricks. Now we've seen some cool stuff. Let's look at what Nocturne is bad at. This guy is not a tank. He is not designed to engage. He is not designed to start fights. Any of your teammates that says so, they're just wrong. Look, yes, he does a lot of damage. He's great at getting kills, but when he's in the middle of 4 members and the team hasn't started the fight, he's just pointing a spotlight on himself and saying, oh, please come kill me, try and get me, and that's not what you want. You're an assassin. You want to dive into the backline and stay alive. So definitely don't want to be doing that. Rely on other people to actually start those fights for you. What is he good at? Killing stuff. He has giant swords for arms. What better way to do that than looking for fights in the mid lane? This is a great example. This is actually from my solo queue game, where you can see the moment I hit level 6, go for the all-in. Straight for the one-shot onto those pesky mages. You have so much burst potential, and you utilize this throughout the rest of the game. Someone trying to base in a brush? Nope, not today. Darkness, into the Q, into the passive. So much damage. You see an 80 carry sitting off on a side lane? Not anymore, you don't. You throw everything at them, and they're going to drop like flies. Finding these picks, finding these isolated kills is the best way to utilize Nocturne in the mid lane. So I can see you guys are already excited. You want to know more, so let's talk about how you build him, starting off with the runes. You'll notice there's a lot of burst. We're going to be running the Electrocute rune. Now, we don't need Lethal Tempo, we don't need attack speed, we just want raw burst. And the other key rune that you're going to need is this Ultimate Hunter down here as well. Reduce that ulti cooldown, because that's where a lot of your damage will end up coming from. Same for the Presence of Mind. You get all those kills, very good at reducing that cooldown, making it available pretty much all the time. In terms of skill order, because you're going to be looking for more damage and burst, you actually want to max the E second rather than the W. Get that extra fear duration, get that extra damage out. Very, very valuable. And obviously, take points in your ult whenever it is up. Finally, the itemization. You're going to be looking to start with Corrupting Potion because he has a lot of mana issues. On top of that, combine it with the Tiamat in the early game will give you a lot of wave clear to help with moving around the map, looking for roams and looking for those solo kills. Also add all that lethality in there. As you can see, the Duskblade and the Ghostblade adds mobility, combines with the burst. Absolutely valuable to have. The GA means, well, I mean, you die a lot, so you're going to need it to come come back to life so you die less. Definitely want to get your hands on that. And then round things out with the Last Whisper to get those pesky tanks out of the way. Now, pros, they can't quite comprehend the ultimate strength that Nocturne Mid may bring, but in time, maybe they can be swayed after watching this guide. But you guys at home shouldn't be convinced by the pros. You should be convinced by me. So jump onto the Rift and give this mid lane champion a go.